Now, a think tank favoured by Conservative politicians has concluded that several northern cities cannot be regenerated and their residents should be encouraged to move south. In a report, Policy Exchange suggested that people from Liverpool, Sunderland and Bradford should move to London, Oxford and Cambridge. Labour has described the report as absurd. Let's get more on this. From Liverpool, I'm joined by the Labour MP for Liverpool Riverside, that's Louise Ellman, and in central London we can speak to the author of the report, Dr Oliver Hartwich. Dr Hartwich, good morning to you. If I could start with you, just what are the main basic findings? Why should people move from the north to the south?
Well, the main finding is really that urban regeneration policy, as we have tried it in this country over the last decades, hasn't really worked. For the last 30 years we spent about £100 billion in urban regeneration, but unfortunately the places where we spent the money haven't really caught up with the rest of the country. In fact, they have fallen further behind the UK average when you look at education results, life expectancy, VAT registrations or whatever other indicator you may choose. So clearly, regeneration policy hasn't really delivered what it promised, and we think we have to think again.
Well, which cities are you talking about specifically?
Well, we're not specifically talking about the north. Actually, there are pockets of deprivation in the southeast as well. What we are basically saying is, rather than following current regeneration policies, we should have a rethink. We should put local people in charge of regeneration funding and let them decide what kind of policies they want to pursue. But apart from that, we think it is important to make it possible for people to move where the jobs are. And we think the jobs are, of course, in London, which is the world's financial centre, and also in Oxford and Cambridge, where we've got world-class universities. So these should be the hubs for the 21st century.
Louise Ellman, I mean, one of the conclusions is that cities like Liverpool and Sunderland have lost much of their raison d'etre with the decline of shipping and had little prospect of offering residents the standards of living to which they aspire. How do you react to that?
Well, the report is ill-informed. It takes us back to the conservative extremism of the 1980s, when Norman Tebbit told people from the north to get on their bikes. The report ignores what has been happening in Liverpool, where we've seen new investment, unemployment halved, the Port of Liverpool doing more work than ever before, planning a major new terminal, a major new biotechnology centre in Liverpool, and a world-class centre being developed at this very moment at the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, where there is new investment into how to combat international diseases. Liverpool is increasingly thriving. Certainly we all need a great deal more support. There's a long way to go, and there is certainly disparity. But a great deal has been achieved. This report turns its back on that and offers a non-solution of saying that people from the northern cities should go to the already overheated and overcrowded southeast of England. That is the talk of despair, and it is simply ill-informed.
Dr Hartwich.
Actually, we're not saying that. I'm very happy that Liverpool is thriving in parts. But I think it would be unreasonable to assume that Liverpool and other places can actually stay at the same population size that they are today. I think in some parts it may be a solution to have cities shrinking, and you can still create vibrant cities but at a different population size. And I think when it comes to the southeast, it is possible for the southeast to grow, because actually if you look at places like Liverpool, for example, they grew in the 19th century. Population migration has always happened. People have always gone where the jobs were. So why should we stop it now? Why should we try to preserve an urban fabric that was right for the 19th century into the 21st century?
But Liverpool is a thriving city. Population loss has now been stabilised. The report talks about universities of the southeast. But what about the universities of excellence like the University of Liverpool, which is collaborating with other northern universities in developing major science in the Daresbury Research Laboratories in the northwest of England? This report is fixated on the southeast. It wants more housing in the southeast to encourage people to move away from the northern cities, when it should recognise the great successes that have been achieved and support more successes to come. We don't want to go back to the failed conservative policies of the 1980s and Norman Tebbit's equivalent telling us to get on our bikes. That can't be the answer.
Louise Ellman, I'm sorry we're out of time, but Louise Ellman, thank you very much. Dr Oliver Hartwich, where are you from, by the way?
I'm from an old industrial part of Germany, which has been shrinking for the last few years.
Right, and Britain is obviously the best option. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Try and upset everybody while we're at it.
Yeah.